Hello, I'm Rifushi, and suddenly I'm a content creator, I guess. So recently I made a community post for a Q&A that I wanted to do, and I received this question. Did you expect this little project to draw so many eyes so quickly? How do you feel about this explosive channel growth? This is not the official Q&A video, even though I already hit 50k, but some of the questions related to how I felt recently, so it spawned this life update video. After noticing how I felt in the past 3 months since I posted my first video, I started to think about how it's affected my life, and I ended up with 11 pages of thoughts to sort through and write a coherent script from. But to answer the question, no, I really didn't. So for any listeners from the future, I posted a video about 3 months ago with 10 subscribers, and in those 3 months, I now have 50k. I think 50k is a point where it's not that much in the grand scheme of YouTubers, but a lot for a person who is happy that even a few people watched at the start. Anyway, this will not be a normal, happy, funny, Rifushi haha video, but I'll be talking about my mental health and life findings. It'll just be what some person on the internet has been thinking about recently, so don't take it too seriously. Another question I received from the post was this one. How do you feel every day? When you wake up, do you feel excited for the day or do you feel sluggish? You know, it's kind of weird. I feel like not much has changed in my life, despite achieving something that I've always dreamed of. So I watched a lot of YouTube growing up. I always looked up to confident people online and tried to do things that they did. I ended up feeling like people on the internet were more relatable than the people I've met in real life. As a result, I also really wanted to be a content creator myself, to have fun making something that I like, to laugh with others, and feel like what I create is worthwhile for people to watch. And I feel like I mostly do. I know that sounds kind of sad, but sometimes it feels like I have the worst characteristics for being a content creator, or like just a person online. I get affected by other people's words easily. I don't have high self-confidence. I compare myself to others. I am anxious being the center of attention, but I also want to receive praise for my work, and I can't help but want to read what people say about me. I worry about disappointing others, and I rely on others to feel proud of myself. I cut corners and try to do the bare minimum to optimize my output while compromising on the quality. I feel a bit on edge worrying about all of these things and get swept up in everything. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll notice that I removed my weekly journal. Basically, I mentioned in my first video that I would create something each week and write about it in the journal. I kind of wanted it to be like a blog, detailing my year-long journey as a content creator, so that I or others could look back and see where I have improved. When I first came up with the journal, I thought that nobody would really care nor read it, so I just posted my personal thoughts. But after a bit, I now approach posting on the internet more like anybody can see this, and that not everybody should know everything about me. So when posting something, I'll ask myself, would I mind if my worst enemy knew this information? I mean, even posting a picture of a sandwich is a bit sketchy, especially with AI these days being able to pinpoint your location with 2 trees in the background of some random street. I think I also lost sight in the journal too. For me, who's concerned about others' criticisms and opinions a bit too much, it's probably healthier and also more effective if I'm the only one who reads it. A problem I've had in my life is being a people pleaser. Because I end up caring or assuming what others will think about me, I end up catering my personality and interests to suit what I feel they would like. It's also the same reason I'm iffy about streaming or doing live content. I really like scripting and planning out my videos, but if you place me on a live stage, I'd look like a stuttering mess of a creature. I already have a hard time introducing 2 of my friends to each other, so trying to make sure everyone who watches my stream is happy with me is probably an impossible task. Someone will call me weird in chat and I'll start crying or something. In my first video, I also mentioned my 2 skill sets to be concepting ideas and connecting with other people. But if you look through my recent videos, maybe I have been coming up with ideas, but I have definitely not been connecting with other people. So I recently realized, wait a second, maybe I'm not as happy as I imagined I would have been. It's also very common to hear creators tell their fans to not be parasocial and that you don't know anything about me. A parasocial relationship being a relationship relating a connection between a person and someone they do not personally know. For example, with an idol or with a fictional character. I would say I don't have much right to tell people what they should and shouldn't do, but after being a creator, I feel like I can at least understand both sides a bit better. It's sort of like being a student all your life, then graduating and becoming a teacher. You may end up realizing things in the backstage that you didn't as a student. So as I said earlier, I watched a lot of YouTube growing up and felt like people on the internet were relatable. As a fan, I did really feel like I could have been friends with the celebrity. I never really interacted with their posts, but in my mind, I always wished I could have had friends like how I saw people interacting online. But after being online myself, I realized that my channel is a snippet of my personality that people will see from me. I might be known for a certain thing that I did, or a mistake that I make, and that'll be who I am to the majority of people. I realized that I could talk about myself all I want, but I'll only talk about the things that I want to share with the world. It's how social media is like, a glorified version of people and their lives. Even the snippet is what the person chooses to show you, whether that may be close to how they are in real life or not. I guess my point is, I understand why people feel connected to creators. It may feel like people online are real, but they only share what they want to share. But that parasocial relationship is why you're there in the first place. There's something about my content that you like or relate to, but I don't really know you individually. I'd say as a fan, it's not unhealthy to watch creators that you like, but there's probably a balance between watching creators and living your own life. This might sound pessimistic, but oftentimes, reality is almost disappointing when you compare it to what you see online. But I say this because, at least for myself, I feel I probably would have been happier understanding this as someone who is always on the internet. And as a creator, I should know that I'm not the person that's online. I'm an author, and this channel is my book. It's a bit different compared to a traditional author and book though, because my channel is based off of my personality and life, so criticisms feel personal. I've always relied on praise from others to feel proud of myself. I mean, how am I supposed to know if what I'm doing is okay if nobody tells me it's okay? So I'm not gonna lie, the numbers were intoxicating at the beginning. I wanted to check and read every comment. After all, these are people who thought something I made was worth watching. Sure, as a content creator, you're praised for your work, and I'm sure most people want to receive deserved praise for the work they've done. But even with praise, I slowly realized that not much has changed except that maybe my insecurities are a bit clearer now. So going on a side tangent, as a content creator, your content has to be about something. I personally say that content creation can be a hobby, but it's a hobby that relies on something else that you do. If you ask me if you should start drawing, I'll say, yeah, why not? But if you ask if you should start a YouTube channel, then I'll ask you what it'll be about. And I feel there are two ways to make content. The first way being doing things for the sake of being content. I'll call it the, hey, do it for the content method. And the second method being making content out of something that you already enjoy. I'd always wished that I had interesting stories or like a hot voice. I don't know what it's, or a cool skill to make content from. But the issue with the do it for the content is that you may end up doing things to appeal to others or because you think it makes you seem cool. For me, I think it'd be cool to be a storytime animator, but when I think about it, I rarely tell stories about myself, even to my friends. And I also like to draw, but I'm no animator. Of course, I might try in the future if I want, but I shouldn't do it just because it seems cool or others expect me to. I also have gotten a few comments asking how to feel motivated to post despite nobody watching their videos. I'm sure not everyone is exactly like me, but perhaps consider why you wanted to be a content creator in the first place. What makes you want to create? If that reason relies on something beyond your control, like others commenting on them, then I'm sure it'll be difficult to feel motivated. Anyway, what am I going to do now? Now that you know all my personal thoughts and feelings, what should I do with my channel? Well, I wish an answer fell from the sky because I'm not too sure either. I want to do what I want to do. Alright, yeah, I don't care. That is a terrible answer. I don't want to cut corners to push out videos. If I'm going to give it my all, trying to achieve something, I might as well make sure it's something that I like doing. Overall, I'm not so special nor better than others. I might be a bit weird, but I'm overall just a normal person. People may like what I make, and the algorithm decided to kick me into the spotlight for a bit, but I don't do anything that others cannot do. Maybe the content should be the fun we have along the way, and maybe collabs should be the friends we make along the way. Content is to be born from you and your interests, and I realized after becoming a content creator myself, maybe I never needed to be one to be confident and happy. But I'll continue to draw, I'll continue to experience life and make friends, and I'll continue to make videos for as long as I want and can. I'll end up making mistakes, and that's fine as long as I hold myself accountable and do better. I realized that maybe organizing my life after deciding to post online is a bit late. I mean, well, it's not too bad for myself besides my mental health, but I think that some people should probably sort themselves out at least a little before posting on the internet. Anyway, I'm sure some of you may have felt similarly to me, but maybe this advice is actually just for myself. If you want to be a content creator or post on the internet, don't let me stop you. I don't care what you do with your life. It's probably obvious to some, but something I'd want people like myself to know is what my friend Rita told me not too long ago. Your happiness is the priority. Everything else is secondary. So long as you can answer to your own conscience at the end of the day and be happy, everything else is just the finer details. But I'll add on to not be an asshole either. So to the big question, what am I going to do now? I don't know. Do what I like, I guess.